morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, July 14th. It is with a bit of sadness that I introduce our next guest, Jack Schultz. Good to have you here, Jack.
Good to be here, Paul.
I say with a bit of sadness I introduce you because this is your last day with us on Radio Friends. You are moving to Toledo.
Toledo, Ohio. Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to do there?
I'm going to be Executive Director of Research Development at the University of Toledo.
Yeah. And you have been, for years, heading up the Bond Life Science Center here at the University of Columbia. How many years have you been there?
10 and a half.
That's a long time.
Yeah, the center is about 12 or 13 years old, so I've been there most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's developed into quite a thing. It employs 300 to 400 people, so it's a fairly significant employer in town. Almost all those people are paid from federal grants, so that's money that came to town that wasn't here before. And it's one of the leading research centers in the Midwest in terms of the number of dollars spent on research per faculty or researcher. And that's pretty good. We do very well because we have a superb team of excellent scientists. What
would you say would be one of the most outstanding pieces of research that has come out of the Bond Life Science Center?
Well, recently one of our investigators discovered and has now licensed to the company Merck what appears to be a drug that will replace all treatments currently used by HIV-positive individuals who must take multiple medicines every day. This drug is expected to replace all of those with a single monthly dose. And possibly a 6-month dose.
And this was developed, that drug was developed here at the Bond Life Science Center.
That's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when could this come on the market?
Well, it's in clinical trials now. In fact, I think it's in the second stage of clinical trials, so it's getting pretty close. I mean, it takes them forever to get these things approved, so I don't actually know it'll be a couple of years yet, probably.
Okay, but when it does, keep in mind that it came here, Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
You wanted, so we know a lot of good things have happened and continue to happen at the Bond Life Science Center. Today, you wanted to touch on the Arctic hare.
Yeah, now we didn't do this work here, but it's such a great science story. It just came out today. It's really fun. Okay, so Arctic hares are rabbits. They're the white ones with short ears. They're white like snow in the winter, and they turn brown in the summer. And a peculiarity that they have, and this applies to some other animals too, is that their populations grow amazingly to really high densities, lots and lots and lots of rabbits, and then they crash for a few years, and then they rise again and fall again and rise again and fall again. Okay, and everybody and his brother has had a hypothesis about what causes this. Scientists have been trying to figure out why these populations go up and down since at least the 1930s and probably before that. So today someone published a paper sort of supporting one of the favorite hypotheses, and that is these rabbits are eaten by lots of things. Arctic foxes, sometimes bears. I mean, they're good eating, I guess.
Okay, they're at the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah, they're close to the bottom, right. And so, it makes sense that when they're really abundant, foxes could catch lots of them and push the population numbers down, and then it might take a while for the population to build up again. Okay, so it'd be sort of boom and bust for the fox and the hare.
But this is nature doing it.
It's nature doing it.
This is nature doing it.
Right.
So man hasn't interfered and caused the problem.
No, but it's pretty easy to understand that you can eat too many of them, and then there aren't enough around to eat, and you have to look for something else, right? Okay, but the timing of all of this doesn't fit that model so well. In particular, once the foxes have eaten a lot of them and there aren't many rabbits around, it takes them several years before the population starts to grow again. Now, it's kind of a joke for everybody that rabbits reproduce really well and really fast, okay? But it takes them maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 years before their population starts to grow after they crash. In the meantime, the foxes are going hungry and they're kind of disappearing. So it's not the lack of foxes. I mean, it's not the presence of foxes that's keeping the population down. So the answer to the question, what keeps the cycle looking like this, is fear.
Fear?
Fear. The rabbits can't reproduce when they are afraid of foxes. Being afraid of foxes reduces their reproductive capacity.
Okay, so then when the fox population goes down,
That's right.
the rabbits lose that fear,
We're not afraid anymore, so we go to town.
and they start reproducing
Yeah,
again.
isn't that something?
So this was discovered in a study?
Yeah, and actually people have been studying this for decades, so, they finally figured out. Now, you and I talked in a previous meeting about something called epigenetics, which is turning genes on and off in subsequent generations because the parents experienced something. This situation really looks like one of those conditions where mom rabbit is terrified of being chased by a fox. That changes her gene expression, and that's passed to her offspring, so that the offspring's genes for fear are on when they're born.
Even though the foxes are disappearing.
The foxes could be gone, right?
So then after several cycles, that gene is turned off.
Right.
They start reproducing again.
Right.
And because there are plenty of them, the fox start eating them, and they start coming up in population, and the cycle just repeats itself over and over again.
Now, this is actually not the first time that kind of thing has been shown. Grasshoppers are afraid of spiders. And if you put grasshoppers in a cage with plants to eat, and you figure out what they like to eat in your cage, okay, you put spiders in there, they change what they're eating, and they hide out more, even though they haven't been attacked by the spider. They can somehow sense that the spider is there, and they act as though they're afraid. In fact, they switch to plants, they feed on plants that hide them better.
And then I've also read, or maybe we talked about it, plants that are under attack by certain insects send out a signal to other insects to come and attack the insects that are hurting those plants.
Yeah, we were the co-discoverers of that. That's a part of our story. Yeah, and in fact, plants that receive the plants growing nearby receive that signal too, and that changes their behavior. They turn on their defenses. Okay.
The wonderful world of nature. It is
That's
outstanding. Jack Schultz, thank you so much for coming by. It's been a real pleasure having you.
It's
on
been
Radio
great to
Friends.
know you, Paul. Thanks.
And I wish you the best of luck in your new position in Toledo.
Thank you very much.
Toledo University.
Yep.
And if you're ever back in Columbia, please stop by and say hi to us.
I will.
All right, we're out of time for today. Have yourself a nice weekend. Bye-bye.